It all began in 1888 with one woman's empathy at the scene of a tragic train accident. Margaret Cavanagh, a local hat trimmer, was devastated to find a man dying in the street because there was no medical facility nearby. She approached her foreman and fellow hatters, and together they rallied citywide support to construct a community hospital. On July 20, 1893, Norwalk Hospital opened temporary quarters on Leonard Street with 6 beds. That first year, the hospital served 31 patients and performed 5 surgeries. Dr. William J. Tracey was the hospital's first medical director, starting a tradition of Tracey physicians that continues today.
My grandfather was one of the founders of the Norwalk Hospital 125 years ago. His 2 sons, who were doctors, were physicians on the staff, and then my brother and myself. I remember the hospital going back to early 1940s, and since then, of course, there have been huge changes in architecture and physicians and departments, many different things.
From the very beginning, community members came out to support Norwalk Hospital, starting with the Ladies' Board in 1893 and followed by the volunteers in 1940. Today, more than 400 volunteers grace our hallways. As Norwalk grew, the community forged ahead with more construction. In 1899, the doors of a new Norwalk Hospital opened on Armory Hill with 26 beds. Locals called it the People's Hospital.
This hospital was built by the community, and the fact that the community come forward when we need them. This is their hospital, and they're willing to serve it.
When the hospital started, the women realized that the hospital staff could not do everything. They needed help. So 12 women went to the hospital and said, what can we do to help you make everybody's life better?
From the very beginning, it really was a volunteer approach to helping to provide medical services to this community. Volunteers have a tremendous impact just beyond their very valuable time. For example, over the years, the volunteers have financially provided many gifts to the hospital to support programs for the patients as well as equipment.
John J. Cavanagh, Margaret's brother and head of the Hat Corporation of America, is one leader who contributed to Norwalk Hospital's early beginnings and growth. Elected mayor of Norwalk, Cavanagh donated his salary of $250 to the hospital, became a director, and went on to serve for nearly 50 years. In 1915, when it was determined that a new hospital would cost $100,000, Cavanagh interested E.T. Bedford, an oil executive and philanthropist from Green's Farms. Bedford pledged half the cost of the Stevens Street land and made a leadership gift toward the new 75-bed hospital, which opened in 1918. Bedford went on to serve as hospital president, fund the Mary A. Bedford Nurses Residence, and underwrite the Bedford Pavilion in 1929, which doubled capacity.
My grandfather was John Joseph Cavanagh, and he was born here in Norwalk. He and Mr. Bedford were very much involved with the hospital on a hands-on basis. Edward Bedford would drive over to my grandfather's house on Sunday mornings, and the two of them would go and make rounds to the hospital, look at the beds and inspect the wards and this type of thing.
E.T. Bedford was someone who was very philanthropic in the communities. He helped start and fund a number of organizations like the Westport YMCA and Norwalk Hospital. And when we were young kids, our grandmother, Lucie Bedford Cunningham, and our great-aunt, Ruth Bedford, participated in something called the Bedford Foundation, which E.T. Bedford had set up, which was annually giving money to organizations that he cared about and helped found. So one was Norwalk Hospital.
It's funny because there were times when we would come to want to see Grandma, Lucy, and Ruth, and we would have to come here. They volunteered here. They loved it. And Aunt Ruth would be in the store selling things, and Grandma would be holding court in the candy striper room.
Over the years, clinical programs, pavilions, and patient towers were added to keep pace with the community's emerging needs. Time and time again, community members generously supported the hospital's growth and transformation. Most recently, the hospital opened the Ann P. and Harold W. McGraw Jr. Center, welcoming a new era in ambulatory care and representing the hospital's largest expansion.
The donors have played an incredible role over the last 125 years, from the early pioneers who laid the foundation of Norwalk Hospital, the Bedfords, the Cavanaghs, the Traceys, to our current donors who have enabled us to modernize our facilities.
You can't do it all by yourself. You need partners, you need relationships, you need to share. So it takes a lot of people coming together to make something really work well.
From the little hospital on the hill, that's what Norwalk Hospital was called at one time. Now we are a center of medical care that provides dedicated cancer care, a superior emergency room. We're no longer just one little building with a few beds.
Over the last 125 years, this community has changed a lot. And with that change, Norwalk Hospital's changed. It's grown its capabilities. It's grown its services that it provides out in the community.
We see ourselves as not just a treater of critical patients who are in dire need, but as a force in the community to bring not only wellness, but healing in many ways to the people who are here beyond the critical care of the Norwalk Hospital walls.
I think in many respects, Norwalk Hospital is leading the way in allowing us to transform how we deliver care. It certainly has some leading programs with respect to its affiliation with Memorial Sloan Kettering, Connecticut Children's Medical Center, and developing its own outstanding programs.
What hasn't changed is this community's commitment to caring for each other. The staff here at Norwalk Hospital are amazing people. They're all here for the right reasons. You can see that every day when you walk the floors and hear the stories about how they're caring for their patients.
I think what's unique here is the people who are involved with taking care of the patients live here. They're taking care of their friends, they're taking care of their neighbors.
I love the people that I work with. We have a very caring environment here at Norwalk Hospital. I love what I do and I love the people that I work with.
I graduated from Norwalk Hospital School of Nursing back in 1967 and I've never left. It is my second family, and when I think about leaving or retiring, I feel like I'm going to cry because I'm so attached to the people that I work with.
It's just very heartening to see how things have come together in such a wonderful way.
I do believe E.T. Bedford would be very proud.
As I look back at the history of Norwalk Hospital over the past 125 years, I realize the reciprocity that exists between what the community has given to it and then in turn what it has given back to the community. And I do think that it is now our turn to think about the future and to make the necessary investments in this institution so that we will continue to provide care for the next 125 years.
From our humble beginnings to state-of-the-art facilities, Norwalk Hospital remains at the forefront of exceptional, patient-centered care. We are proud to celebrate our past and look forward to the future as we carry forth the vision of our early founders and supporters. Indeed, the future is bright with our cherished hospital on the hill. From the bottom of our hearts, we wish to thank our incredible community and dedicated staff and volunteers for creating such a gem, one that will continue to shine for generations to come.